Well, hello and welcome to this short video on the talent dynamics profiles. There are 8 profiles I want to give you a quick run through. This is a tool that I use with my clients. It's a great tool for helping them to get a greater understanding about themselves and their strengths and how to work more effectively with colleagues and partners. And it's just a really simple tool, but it's quite powerful. It helps to boost their productivity and reduce stress. So let's get started. I want to start with the creator profile. This is a typical person, would be someone like Richard Branson. They're great at being visionary and creative and optimistic and inspiring others, multitasking. They sometimes have a bit of a challenge though in being a bit over-optimistic about what they can achieve. They're quite distracted because they have many things going at once, and sometimes they're not so great at getting things finished. So their in-flow roles are being big picture and involved with business strategy and brainstorming. They're not so in flow if they have to deal with customer service and repetitive routines and detailed analysis and market research and things like that. So that's the creator profile. Let's move on to the star profile. Oprah Winfrey is a typical star profile: vibrant, energizing, image-driven, quick to deliver and quick to connect with people, and can take an idea and run with it. They can improvise quickly in tricky situations, and they perform well on stage. They're also good at shining the light on other people. They can be a bit challenging at times though. They can be controversial. Their personality can be a little bit overbearing at times. They sometimes value image over execution, and they don't necessarily listen to others. But they're really in flow if they're involved in marketing, promotion, sales, leadership, strategy, presenting, leading out of a crisis, and things like that. They're not so in flow with financial detail and peacemaking, analysis, measurement, those kinds of things. So that's the star profile. Let's keep moving around the square. The supporter profile, Tony Blair was a typical supporter profile when he was Prime Minister. They're very relationship focused and build confidence, very good leaders of a team. They enjoy team building, they enjoy networking, good sort of cheerleader type of people, and strong up front. They're a bit more challenged if they've got to deal with the detail of spreadsheets or back office kind of work. They're in flow in leadership roles and networking and relationship management. They're not quite so in flow if they have to deal with finance and operations and systems and back office and things like that. Moving on to the next one. The next one's a deal maker. Donald Trump's a typical deal maker. Their strengths are being outgoing, entertaining, approachable, mischievous, always connecting people, and quick to spot opportunities. Their challenges though are they need structure to deliver. They're sometimes a bit too quick to please, and they can lose their own identity. They can be also a bit blown off course reasonably easily. So their in-flow roles are things like negotiation, peacekeeping, resolution, doing partnership deals. They're not so in flow if they have to innovate or do the product design or design the system. So that's where they're not as comfortable doing that sort of thing. So moving around the square, we're now down into or what we call the autumn energy in talent dynamics, which is very good at implementation. So the trader is very sensory-based person. They're very balanced, observant, insightful, create loyalty. They can multitask. They're very good at getting the right price. So getting to the point quickly, and they see things that others missed. They can get a bit bogged down in detail, so now I'm onto the challenges, buried in the activity, so they might miss the big picture. So George Soros was a typical person here. Their in-flow roles are customer care, project execution, keeping to time, hands-on stuff. They're not so in flow if they have to get involved in public speaking or strategic leadership. Let's move on to the accumulator. We're moving around the square now. We're still on the bottom of the square on the left-hand side, and that's the accumulator profile, which is a typical person there is Warren Buffett. Great strengths for being reliable and careful and protecting the organisation. Not over-promising. Looks at what can go wrong. They're challenged, however, that if they get distracted by the detail or they want more data, they can procrastinate if they want more data, and they can be sometimes a bit too pessimistic. So they're in flow, though, when they're in project management and compliance and finance. They're not so in flow with blue sky thinking and innovation, systems design, and so on. The Lord profile, like Lakshmi Mittal, the billionaire from India, is a Lord profile. Their strengths are being in control, being cautious and organised, and looking after the details and seeing distinctions that other miss. They're really uncomfortable if they don't have all the details. So they're challenged, of course, when they're actually asked to get involved in more heavily in the relationship side. They're more comfortable dealing with the data and the systems. So they've got little patience with social niceties, can struggle in presenting complex ideas or get absorbed in the data. But they're certainly in flow if they're in a role where they are the controller and the analyst and the financial management or the auditor. So that's a role that suits them. They're not so in flow in people management, motivation, networking, negotiation, marketing, and so on. Okay, next one, we're nearly there, is a mechanic. So this is the 8th of the profiles. Mechanic, a typical mechanic was Ray Kroc, who got the McDonald's franchise up and going. So he didn't actually design that business himself. He saw it and recognised its strengths and decided that would be good to franchise. So they are innovative and perfectionist, detail-oriented, and complete things well. They're a bit like a motor mechanic. They fine-tune the car, the Formula One car, if you like. They spot inefficiencies in the systems. They can cause a bit of friction because of their communication style, and they're often very sort of structured and inflexible. Their internal focus might mean that they miss market shifts, so they're also sometimes a bit resistant to change. But they're certainly in flow in system design and perfecting process, completing tasks, component assembly. They're not so in flow with negotiation and customer service, marketing, sales, those kinds of activities. So there it is. That's the 8 talent dynamic profiles in a nutshell. In subsequent videos, I'll be going through them in a bit more detail and giving you a bit more information. In the meantime, though, if you do want to have more information about them, I have got some material out there that you can look at. We have a webinar up at the moment which would take you through the whole topic of productivity and stress and how to apply talent dynamics in that context. So you can go and see the webinar, or if you want to see our latest offer where we have a productivity consultation and some talent dynamics profiles for a very, very competitive price, you can go straight to wproductivity.info, or if you want to contact me by email. Great to be with you and look forward to talking to you on the next video. Bye for now.